Hello everyone, this is the final Bosman, and on today's episode we're taking a walk down memory lane. Let's get started. Welcome to the show. I am Kyle Bosman, and this week I kind of want to reminisce about the spirit of Next Gen. We talk about Next Gen a lot, but you might remember the first episode of this show was called How to Make Us Say Wow Again, and it was about how to make us still impressed with Next Gen, the way that games of yore used to. Well, today I want to talk about those games of yore. I want to talk about those moments that made me personally say wow. So today's list are my top 4 Next Gen memories. Let's go! The first Next Gen memory is destroying the Death Star in Star Wars Rogue Leader. This may come as a surprise to many of you, but there was once a time when I was in fact too cool for Nintendo. I owned a Sony PlayStation, and I played mature games like Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy VIII. I didn't have time for those baby games. When the GameCube was announced, I was like, I don't want that. Look at that thing, it comes in purple. What kind of console comes in purple? But then, I was at Target one day, and they had sort of like a demo unit showing off videos of what GameCube gameplay looked like. And one of those videos was Star Wars Rogue Leader, showing off the level when you're in an X-Wing on the Death Star. You, the player, get to pilot an X-Wing and attack the Death Star, and it looked better than the movies. It looks like you're playing that scene in the movies. You could not do that on the console you have right now. I had a PlayStation 2, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that on the PlayStation 2. I guess I gotta get a GameCube. And if you look at this today, there's still something exciting about it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is still the most recent video game in which you get to pilot an X-Wing and attack the Death Star. What have we been doing for 12 years? My second Next Gen memory is making my friends feel stupid in Halo Combat Evolved. In high school, my friends would have these things they called LAN parties, in which they would just play medieval strategy games and never invite me. But then one time I was invited. My friend called me up and said, hey, you want to come to our LAN party? Okay. All right, cool. It's at my house. Okay, where is that? 393 Birchwood. Okay. What time? Like 9? Okay. Can your mom come pick me up? Let me check. Mom. So when I got to their house, turns out it's not really a LAN party, it's just they're playing Halo and they need 4 people. But that was fine. And this place was great because they had 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes, 2 copies of Halo Combat Evolved, and 2 couches back to back. So 2 people would have this TV and 2 people would have this TV, and they couldn't see each other's screens, and they were connected on the same game. I'd never had that before. And I realized PC people are probably like, lol, what, mate? But to me, that was a thing I'd never seen before. Halo 1 is a great next-gen game as far as next-gen games go. It launched with the console. It made analog sticks a viable control scheme for first-person games. It made AI exciting. It had some unique level design. And it had a button for grenades. The left trigger was the grenade button. It wasn't just, all right, hold down X to access your grenades and then set up the trajectory that you desire and then let her rip. It was just boop, left trigger, there's a grenade. Whoop. Oh my gosh, and sticky grenades, come on. So back to me and my friends, we're playing this great game. We're on Sidewinder, the horseshoe level. And it's 2v2, we're playing Capture the Flag for whatever dumb reason. Capture the Flag is not good with 2 people, but we were having fun. Anyway, this particular match, it was the 2 best guys versus the 2 worst guys. Me and the other worst guy versus the 2 best guys who always beat us. Anyway, I somehow took the flag from the best guy's base, and I ran out straight out of their base into the snowy horseshoe, and I panic, and I run straight into the dead-end cave like a big idiot. And so then I start screaming for help, like, buddy, help me, I'm in the cave, come. And of course, our opponents are right behind us, and so they hear that, and so they surround the cave. One guy gets a tank, the other guy gets a ghost, and they just kind of like hover, waiting for me to come out of the dead-end cave with their flag. And so my friend, he also heard me screaming. He comes out into the cave, and he's like, okay, I'm here. I got you, buddy. I got your back. Hey, come on, you idiot. You're on the other side of the bars. How are you supposed to help me over there? And then suddenly we both get the same idea, and we start giggling to each other. I take the flag and throw it through those bars, and he catches it, and we think this is hysterically funny. We just start laughing. And the other two guys are the good guys, and their tanks and their ghosts are like, why are they laughing? Let's get out. Let's run into the cave and see what's going on. And they do. They shoot me and kill me because they're better than I am. But I just kind of take the bullets and laugh and say, ha, you're too late. And they're like, what is it? Why is he so confident? Where's the other guy? Where's the flag? It's got to be around here somewhere. And then we start laughing even more hysterically. This is the best. And then, this is something that you should never do if you're couch to couch. The guy turned around to look at our screen. This is flagrantly against the rules of back-to-back couches. But it didn't even matter, because all he could do is watch my friend, the worst guy, march straight into our base and win the game. And we just stood up, high-fived, and I remember this part perfectly. We said, buddy, that was a next-gen experience. My next-gen memory is going up in Starfighter. So when I got my PlayStation for Christmas, I got it with 2 games, Jet Moto and Bubsy 3D. Jet Moto we did that whole episode on earlier, and in Bubsy 3D we did that 3-part series that was widely acclaimed. Oh, it's not online anymore if you're looking for it now, because Viacom has actually optioned those 3 shows to become a major motion picture, which is exciting. And it's a little early, but I might be played by Diane Keaton. So, anyway, so I had just those 2 games, which didn't necessarily blow my mind. You know, those are cool games, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, video games are the future, man. But on my birthday, I got this game called Starfighter, which I'd never heard of before, and probably you haven't heard of still. And what Starfighter is, it's you know, you're in a spaceship again. It's kind of like Star Fox at first. You're just kind of cruising around. You can destroy things. But then you can fly up. And you can fly up, for some reason, as far as you want to. You can fly up straight into space, and you could be in space. And there's no reason to. There's nothing up in space, but you're there because you wanted to. And you can just kind of hang out in space. There's no pressure on you to do anything. And then you can fly back down whenever you feel like it. And it's just sort of a thing that just smashed my brains. That is something that just said, you thought video games were this? Well, how about this? What do you think now? And I'm like, whoa, everything. I think everything now. And it was just sort of a gateway to the possibilities of what this little medium was capable of. And it's a pointless freedom that's rare in video games today. Today we sort of just have, hey, cadet, that's the end of a war zone. You just hit an invisible wall. Cadet, stop it. That's outside of the war zone. Stay inside of the war zone. Don't fly up, cadet. Stop that. Starfighter, it's like, cadet, what are you doing? Whatever the frick I want. My final next-gen memory is spaghetti in Mario 64. Super Mario 64 is probably on anyone's next-gen memories list. That game, gosh, that is as next-gen as a next-gen game could be. It was impossible on prior hardware. It's just forward-thinking, just full of all these crazy, unique ideas you'd never seen before. Mario 64 just honestly had a certain magic to it. It had a power that's hard to pin down. And my memory of it was, I didn't have a Nintendo 64 ever, but it was a game that I would watch other people play and just eat it all up in my eyeballs. I loved watching people play the game. The first time I ever saw it though, it was Christmas, 1996, and my uncle had a Nintendo 64 and he was really good at Mario 64. And we went over and he had it hooked up to this huge 32-inch TV. And he was playing Mario 64 and we came over, but it's the holidays. And it's like, hey, we're here and now we gotta do family stuff, do adult talking. Hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, no, I wanna watch Mario 64. It's like, no, you can't, child. We're gonna talk adult stuff. Forget about video games. In the meantime, he didn't even pause it. He had Mario 64 set up on that TV. And it was just Mario hanging out. Like, what am I supposed to do now? And I'm like, I don't know, Mario, I wish that we could go watch you play. And then Mario eventually just kind of gets bored and kind of falls where he is and falls asleep on the floor. And then, in probably what is not a perfectly ethnically sensitive move, he starts dreaming about spaghetti. And he just starts snoring and just dreaming of what spaghetti tastes like.
Night. Spaghetti. Ravioli. Mamma mia.
But to me, that was the moment. That was the moment that just made this game a magical thing. Not just like a system of polygons and physics interacting with it, but a fully realized character in a fully realized world. Yeah, Super Mario 3D World looks like it's going to be a bunch of fun. Like, we're all going to just tweet about how great it is. But to me, it seems like it doesn't even aspire to accomplish half of what Mario 64 already has. And that's what makes me so frustrated. When the Wii U was launching, Reggie Fils-Aimé would say in interviews, he'd kind of cross his arms and shrug and says, "We're launching with a great new Mario game, and it's something the fans have always asked for. What more could you want?" Reggie, lots more. I want to fly into space, man. I want to press up and I want to go into space. I want to do things I've never done in games before. I want to do things that I've only seen in movies before. I want Mario to fall asleep and dream about spaghetti. And it just doesn't seem like we have those things anymore. And I think looking at our next-gen lineups for these two new consoles, you see a lot of great games. You know, they're probably going to look good. They're all technically next-gen, but they're missing that element of showing us new possibilities of what games could be. And I honestly hope that is something that we will see soon. If not, we got some boring games ahead of us. Anyway, that is the episode for this week. If you have some next-gen memories, and I'm sure everyone's are different, I'm genuinely curious what yours are, so please feel free to tell us about them in the comments below. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at Kyle Bosman. I will be back here next Wednesday. I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. Cadet, come in, please. What are you doing? Whatever the frick I want. Space is amazing. All right, Cadet, we need you to come on back down, please. Oh, yeah? Yes, we need you to come back down. Well, I'm going to fly straight down and pull up at the last second. Cadet, please don't. That is highly dangerous. I don't care. Cadet, that's a highly expensive military equipment. I don't care. Okay, I'm about to dock into the home base now. What? That's not part of this mission, but it looks cool, so I'm doing it. All right, you're docked. You know what? You guys are kind of a buzzkill. Get out of the home base. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to shoot you. Because my lasers are lasers, and feasibly, in this world, lasers would hurt my home base. Okay, bring it on, buddy. Here I go. How could you do this to us, Cadet? Because I do what I want. Frick you. Well, I killed my home base, and I did it all because I do what I want. For I am the Starfighter. Okay.